Hey, it's Cam. A few days ago, I turned 29. I feel super new. I don't know, I just think I feel very different. I think I'm learning a lot of things about life, and I don't know, it's just, uh, I guess everything seems new. Also, with therapy, it's helping a lot. Everything is just coming together. You know, for the past 28 years, I have been feeling very confused about my life, about what I liked, what I didn't like. I was living in chaos. Also, because I do believe, the family you were raised, the family that raises you and raised you, plays a huge role in your mind. So I do believe that part of the chaos in my head was because of that. And as I'm growing older, I'm understanding that I don't longer want to live in chaos. I think it's beautiful to just sit back and relax a little bit. For sure. It feels refreshing. It feels nice. But yeah, so I am 29 now. I have new plans for this year. I do feel grounded, more grounded. I feel more at peace with myself. And I'm telling you, I've been wanting to feel this for so long. Like when I was a little kid, I was like, why is just, there's so much chaos inside my head, like so much like arguing, so much chaos. Like there was no start and an ending. It was just blurred all the time, and now it's starting to be clear in my head. Of course, therapy is helping me a lot, and it's beautiful. But yeah, I definitely feel more grounded. I feel like I can actually think straight. If you know what I mean. I feel like I couldn't think straight for the longest time, and it was really bad. But having the right support feels amazing. When you are helped, it just feels amazing. Like, also, like how you treat yourself on the outside, I feel like is a reflection on the inside as well. Not all of it, not entirely, because I still fault. But yeah, I just think it's beautiful that I'm this thinking person now. Before I just couldn't. But like I said about the exterior, I've been, appreciating taking care of myself more, like doing my nails more often. Now I stopped biting my nails for 3 to 4 months. Then I failed, and I fell in temptation. So it's because I really don't want to bite my nails. I think it's something I've been wanting to stop for the longest time, and I just couldn't. But now I of course have long nails, underneath these ones, but like they're so cute. Like, look at that. Like my hand seems so feminine and like put together. Also, I got a nose piercing. I think it's really interesting to say that for the longest time, I I've been living under my parents' roof, in a like on a literal way, but at the same time, like emotionally as well. I feel like that emotional. Of course, I'm still attached to my parents, but like that emotional dependency is just no longer there. Like I feel like I'm my own person now, and for the longest time I couldn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't. I feel like I needed to please them. I needed to make sure I wasn't hurting them. I was not gonna let them down. Now I became my own person, and I feel like for the longest time I was fearing getting out of my shell, and I feel like nowadays I'm starting to just put myself out there, and it feels good, and it feels good. It feels amazing. I don't longer care about what people think about me, to be honest. I don't have much anger, I would say, and resentment towards my parents and towards people. So it just feels great. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, I'm learning who I am. I'm discovering who I am, and it feels great. Like for the longest time, I'm like, oh my gosh, my dad didn't like tattoos, so I didn't like tattoos. My mom didn't like piercings, so I didn't like piercings. Because, of course, parents, I mean, and not everyone is perfect, but some parents just don't do the right work. And so they pass their fears on to you without you literally wanting to, get those fears, but you inevitably get those fears. So yeah, now I feel like I don't want to listen to any traditional, I guess rules. Like I don't want to follow, just if I go outside, I don't care if people look at me and are like, oh, you got a tattoo, or you got a piercing, or you got this, I don't. And before, it did bother me a lot, because I cared so much about what people used to think about me, because I was a major people pleaser, and now I really am not. Like, I'm not. So it also feels good to just own yourself. One thing also I've learned these 28 years is people, like when you ask a question to someone, or they say their opinions, people project what they have inside of their brain out there. Like, it's very rare that you will find people who don't project their inner world out there. Like, it's really hard to find those people. Very hard. I think I have to really think, and I feel like I can, make a difference, like, to me, in my opinion. And that's when I will project my inside mind out there. But I also know how to say things on a, I would say, objective way. But this part is really, really hard. I think I need to put my glasses on because I'm already blind. So it's really hard to speak, for people to speak on a objective level. It is very, very hard indeed, but I think rare people, just not a lot of people can do that, and that's okay. It's not easy. It takes a lot of inner work, but a lot of like looking around you and seeing, you know. But so yeah, I really don't care what people think about me, because that's a projection of what they think of me. But exactly of what they think of me. I don't think that of myself. I'm a very petite person. People, and for the longest time, that was one of my insecurities. So if people say that, oh, you're short, or you're petite, or you know, you don't eat a lot and stuff, that is their projection onto me. But since I believed those things, you know, I couldn't help but just believe those things and just be sad about it. And it's like, why am I doing that to myself, you know? So that's another thing I learned, and it's just projection. People will project onto you literally about everything they have in their brain. So it's really okay. Like, once you realize, I don't know if you can see. But yeah, once you realize that thought process in people, you'll feel so much better. You won't have all of these, you know, problems in your mind. Although, of course, it's still a process. You know, it's like you're not immune to it, but you know you're getting better at it. Of course, I'm getting better at it. So I can say out loud that I'm getting better at it, and it feels refreshing once again. So yeah, that's what I mainly learned. It just feels good to just be free of noise, outer noise, you know? It's like, once you own yourself inside here, you don't, like, everything seems so, like, quiet. Like, your mind will quiet down every single noise, and then you absorb. I don't know how to say that word. You absorb. I don't know if that's the right word. What you like and what you don't like. Like, your body will repel what is not for you once you get to know yourself. So, I feel like I'm getting there, to the point where, like, I know what I like, and I know what I truly don't like. So yeah. Also, in these 29 years, I've experienced a lot of these 29 years, I've experienced a lot of outer world. So that way I could enrich my inner world. I feel like I was like a sponge. And I feel like most kids, if not every kids, do that. I'm not sure every kid, but I did that for the longest time. I was experiencing life. Yeah, I was hiding for a little bit, but at the same time, I wanted to experience things, because I've had experiences with, you know, friendship, you know, either failed friendships, or, you know, good relationships that I still have, or friendships that I still have till this day. I learned about education and the importance of it. I guess I learned about what I really like, what makes me happy, and what doesn't make me happy. So I learned a lot of things in my own way, of course, but I gotta fix the light. This light literally like glitches or something. Like, you have to hit it for it to work again. It's old. And it's from IKEA. I mean, you probably don't care, but it's fine. It's just from IKEA. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So, as I was saying, I feel like I learned a lot about friendships and relationships and about education. And now that my head is clear, I can put those, I'm telling you, put that knowledge out there. You know, I feel like that's what I did for the longest time. I also believe that kids experience the world differently than, of course, grown-ups. Now, I think everyone has a different opinion when it comes to what growing up means. I came up with my own. I feel like growing up means that, you know, you still get to enjoy whatever you like. It doesn't matter if you grow out of something or if you don't grow out of something. For example, I love stuffed animals. I will never grow out of those. I will be 90 still holding on to a stuffed animal, because I know that something that makes me happy, I'm never going to let that go, because it's something I like. Same thing Disney, same thing coloring, same thing writing, same thing. Like, I don't have to outgrow these things, because it's what makes me me. It's what makes me this individual, you know. I think it's beautiful, and that's for and it doesn't matter if it's antique, if it's like older than the Bible, if it's like so childish. It doesn't matter. If you like it, you like it. That's what growing up means, like really realizing what you like and what you don't like. But also, I noticed that kids have a different way to see the world, in the meaning of, like, since their senses are heightened, they will experience the world with new eyes, and this is so beautiful, and they think the world is out there, as in they have their first crush, or they have their first breakup, they have their first, I don't know, like friendship, they have their first concerts. Yes, those things are like from the outside, and since their senses are so heightened, they feel like that's their world. The world out there is not your world. Is really not. I believe the real world is inside of you. And and growing up, like I said, is truly getting to know yourself on a very deep level and act how you want out there once you discover who you are. I think that's what growing up means. Now, of course it's not objective, it's subjective. That's what growing up means to me. Because when I have my first crush, when I have my first heartbreak, when I have my first out there, you know, when I experience the world for the first time, whether it's like literally anything, like a joint. I talked about the joint in my last video, whether it's drugs, whether it's something on the outside, right? That's growing up, of course. You know, the world, the outer world, helps you grow up on the inside. It makes you learn more about yourself. So, in my eyes, that world right there, out there, is not the real world. The real, so much R's, the real world is literally inside your brain. And that's where everything starts. Like I said before, like, we all see the world in our eyes. Like, I see my world in my eyes, you see your world in your own eyes, and I think that's the beauty of it all, because everybody sees the world differently, and everyone has a different perception of growing up, you know, like, and to me, this is it, like, literally, and like I said, once you get to know yourself, that's when you can actually live out there. Like in a confident way, and not just being confident, like peaceful. Like you own who you are. You know who you are. Of course, I'm still gonna learn who I will be, you know. But like as of now, I can only talk about 29 years. So, well, 28, 29. So yeah, and now that I can say I have learned and experienced the outer world, I can choose what my world is gonna be like out there. Because before, when you're a kid, you're experiencing the world. You're not living, I mean, yeah, you are living the world, but you are experiencing it. I think that's what I think. You're experiencing in the world. So it's like you're a sponge, and then once you make that knowledge, those experiences yours, that's how you act accordingly. So if you have a first crush or something, that's not your first crush. You're just experiencing out there. Also, when it comes to love, I do believe that I do believe that love really comes from within. If you do not love yourself, there is no way you're going to be able to love someone else. Like, at all. Like, there's no, you can't. Because you can't really express a healthy kind of love. You will express chaos. You will probably express insecurity, doubts to them, chemicals. You know, you can experience lots of different things, but you cannot experience love unless you love yourself. This year, I have mastered self-love, and I do believe self-love is first love. Because once you realize, like I said earlier, once you realize the world is inside of you, you literally change everything. Because you realize that the main character, it's you. Like, it's you. So, really, once you realize that love comes from within you, that's when you go out there and be like, you know what, I know how to love this person correctly because I know myself. And if that person's gonna cheat, if that person's gonna do something, I'm not gonna take it personal. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get frustrated. I will not do or entertain that kind of behavior. I'll just walk away because I've discovered my worth. I know, my love comes from within. I know I'm a loving person. despite what that person does, I don't care what that person does. I'm gonna give love to that person. If they see what I have to offer, which is my world, my inner world, that's great. If they, oh my gosh, this light. If they see, this is so like crazy. Like I'm over here tapping the light. But yeah, like I said, if they see my worth, that's great. That's like a good point. If they don't see my worth, it has nothing to do with me because I know my world. I know who I am. And it took me 29 years to discover that, to discover this whole philosophy about life, I think. So, yeah, of course, what you had is not, it's just experiences, you know? Like, it's not, it was real because you lived it, but it was not authentic. Authentic? It was not. I think authenticity comes when you choose something because you want it and because you choose it. It's not because it happens. It's because you choose it. I feel like that's a beautiful, beautiful mindset, to choose something. If you want something, you choose it. I want that. I want to adopt that child. I want to love that person. I want to go on that vacation. I want to. I mean, of course I would like to, but I want to. It's an intentional, strong feeling. It's not just, oh my gosh, in the air, you know? Like, I personally don't. I personally like to have this kind of philosophy in life. Also, when it comes to relationships, I have experienced a lot of relationships in my past. Of course, me being a neurodivergent person, like I've mentioned to you previously, I will not I will not be interested in something I'm not excited about. If I'm not excited about something, my brain will just drop that thing. Like, it's, I'm just gonna brush it off because I don't find any stimulation in that. Like, that's just how it works. And it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing to some people, but to me, it's what it is. It's how my brain works. Every brain works differently. So I've accepted my brain, although it can be kind of destructive towards itself, because it feels like I'm never going to be satisfied about things. That's why I'm learning gratitude. I've talked about it in the previous video. I just said that gratitude helps you daily, literally daily. Miracles with gratitude. But yeah. So I've had relationships in the past, which I've experienced, and they were all based on some interests, and some of them experiencing, you know, literally being curious, and some of them because of my lack of dopamine. So I do tend to lack dopamine a lot, and I've been knowing this, you know, like I'm just discovering these things this year, you know, like I didn't know how my brain worked for the longest time, and now I do. And I like I said, my brain works by looking for that dopamine. And yeah, so certain relationships I've had because I wanted to explore, and that was back in high school. Then I've had a relationship Because so oh jeez. About 10 years ago, I met a guy. I mean, before this guy, it was more like I'm curious about boys, like what can they do? What do they do? How are they? Like I wasn't really paying too much attention, although, yes, I was having my, physical experiences with them to an extent, not, fully. But it was, like I said, it was more physical, it was not anything like really caring about someone. At the age of 19, and this was in 2016, I met a guy, and this guy, I never knew anything about this guy. I never knew anything about this guy. I had no idea who this guy was. I just met him like that. Out of nowhere. I was not even supposed to go to that place. I met him at a beach festival. I was not even supposed to meet this guy because I really wanted to go to the mall, but this other friend I was with, she really wanted to go to this concert. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Do we really have to? And also it was kind of raining, so I really didn't want to go. And me, I'm the kind of person who really does not like crowd at all. So I put myself in there thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be a nightmare. Well, it didn't turn out to be a nightmare. It turned out to be a beautiful day. I do still remember that day like it was yesterday. That's how vivid I remember things. I met this guy, and the thing is, my friend was interested in his other friend, and I was interested in this guy, white, tall guy. I'm not sure why I was interested in him, but he was the first person I was drawn to. I was not to his friend, I guess I would say, only to him. So I had a beautiful day, very spontaneous, very easygoing. I'm not sure if he was drunk, but I don't know, maybe, but I wasn't. And so I do remember that day so clear. Yeah, that day was definitely a lot of chemicals in my brain because I was experiencing life, of course, on a very raw level. I was meeting people, I was talking, I was very shy. He is American and I'm Italian, so back then I could not have a conversation like I am right now. I just couldn't. Of course, not knowing the language, of course it was really hard for me. But the thing is, I had a strong attraction towards this guy since the very first day I saw him. Mind you, growing up, I've always liked blonde guys since I'm Latina. I'm Colombian. Short, petite. I've always found white, blonde men attractive because it's not something I am, so of course I go and look for that. Now, am I attracted to blonde guys still? I really don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. That's a little detail. So yeah, it was a beautiful day. I remember falling in love with this guy, not on that day. I remember falling in love with him in the car. We were in a parking lot or something at a gas station, and I remember falling in love there. And I think I did tell him. I literally told him, I said, I don't think I've ever felt like this before. And I really don't think he answered me back, but I don't know, I was very young back then. I was very, very young. I was like 19, and I had no idea about anything, about my feelings. I was definitely a child, and it was just everything was so new to me. I was like, So, there was clearly something about this guy that made me look inside of myself. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. This is some weird stuff, okay? Like, I met this guy, and I was attracted to him, but I felt like I was looking at myself. I really don't, like, I don't know how to explain this, but I felt very, very weird every time I was with him. I did not have to talk to this guy for me to be happy. I did not have to say a word. I could just sit in silence and just be okay with him. Like, just his presence would feel that pleasing to me. I could just stay with him for 2 hours, 3, 4 hours, whatever, silent, and not say anything, and I'd be just fine. That was weird. That was a little scary, because sometimes when you talk to people, you kind of want to feel, the silence. You just don't want to be too awkward. With him, I was completely fine. Like, I did have a bunch of butterflies in my stomach because, of course, mind you, I was 19, and that was my very first hard crush. I literally, I was so crushed. I told everyone at his work, from his work. And they would tell me, oh, you should leave that guy alone, like, he's whack, like this and that. And I didn't want to believe them. I personally didn't want to believe them. I'm not sure if he had someone back then, because he was stationed here in Sicily. So I think he had someone back then in the States. I don't know. Because when he left, he showed me a necklace, like a heart necklace, and he told me it was his mom. I don't really believe it was his mom. I think it was some girls, but that's some, detail. But yeah, when I was with him, I could feel at peace, but at the same time, fiery. I don't know, like a firework. I don't know how to explain. I really don't know how to explain it. And that was, that friendship, relationship, whatever it was, I did not even date this guy. That's the thing. We didn't date. And it's in 29 years, well, not in 20, in 19 years, I've never felt anything like that before. So that was definitely something that made me look within myself, inside of myself. And it's I was trying to understand why I was feeling the way I did for the longest time. And, I've always cared about this guy. I've always cared about him. I've always wanted to help him. I think he was going through some rough times, rough patches. I'm not sure. But I felt like there was this huge attraction, emotional and physical. It was not just physical. Yeah, it was physical very strongly, very, very strongly. But it was also emotional too. I felt like I wanted to, I don't know, I felt like a little girl, in his arms, you know, like I'd feel, I don't know how to explain it, but I'd feel super babied. I don't know, and I loved that feeling. Because before then, I didn't really have a man like that, and to me, a man was holding me. Like, that's how I felt. And it felt amazing, to be honest. Sort of like a dad. I don't really know how to explain it, and I loved it. But I don't know, it was a weird feeling. I think I'm getting lost by explaining too much. Cause it was just so weird. Like, I feel like I couldn't really find any words to express that. Situationships, I'd say, because nowadays these are called situationships. So yeah, I'm gonna make a part 2 because it's a 40 minutes.